Meet John Collins, the mastermind behind the world record-breaking paper airplane that soared an astonishing 226 feet. Yes, you heard that right, 226 feet. To put this incredible feat into perspective, just imagine your average backyard or schoolyard is now a runway for super-powered origami. And guess what? According to Collins himself, anyone with determination can join the Record Books Club by mastering his techniques shared through detailed how-to videos. But here's the million-dollar question. If John Collins' plane can cover that much ground from the ground, just think about the possibilities when it's launched from outer space, like the International Space Station. Imagine sending a paper mini shuttle into space. Talk about taking your origami skills to new heights. But before we blast off, let's face it, there are some serious hurdles our feather-light flyer would need to overcome. From the intense heat of re-entry to navigating through Earth's atmosphere at high speeds, landing safely on solid ground is a monumental challenge. So, can a paper plane really touch down unscathed? According to engineer Takuo Toda, the president of the Japan Origami Airplanes Association, and we're calling him an expert here. Yes, it is possible for a well-designed paper aircraft to make a smooth landing back on Earth. Meet engineer Takuo Toda, the man who's taken his love for origami to mind-boggling heights by sparking a revolutionary idea, launching a paper airplane from space. When he shared this vision with Professor Shinji Suzuki and Japan's top-notch space agency, JAXA, they didn't just dismiss it, they jumped on board. Now, Toda's out-of-the-box dream is getting some serious backing. A staggering $180,000 has been set aside to fund the initial research phase. So, what makes this quirky project worth such a huge investment? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the fascinating story behind Japan's audacious paper airplane mission. But here's the thing, Takuo Toda's wild idea isn't just about having fun with paper planes in space. It's actually a clever science experiment. According to Toda, by sending a humble paper airplane soaring into space and back, scientists can collect valuable data that could lead to major breakthroughs in space shuttle design. Imagine being able to create safer, more efficient shuttles that use lightweight materials, capable of withstanding intense forces as they travel through the atmosphere. It sounds like science fiction, but Toda's team is dead serious about making it a reality. Now, let's find out, will their unorthodox approach convince the skeptics and change the face of space exploration forever? You might think that sending a paper plane into space is just a silly stunt. But let's get real. Experts say our featherweight flyer won't even make it through re-entry intact. It'll vaporize in the atmosphere before you can say aerodynamics. But here's the twist. If Toda's team uses some nifty technology, their paper mini spacecraft could end up staying in orbit for days. And when it finally starts its descent towards Earth, get ready. This tiny traveler will be hurtling through our atmosphere at a mind-boggling Mach 20, equivalent to 13,000 miles per hour. So, imagine our trusty paper plane reaching speeds of up to Mach 20, that's 13,000 miles per hour, as it plummets back towards Earth. At this mind-boggling velocity, objects typically incinerate at around 9 kilometers up, leaving no trace. But what if we throw a curveball and send in a lightweight paper plane? Well, its smaller mass means it won't quite hit those same extreme speeds. Instead, it'll reach an incredible Mach 6 by the time it reaches about 9 kilometers altitude, or roughly 2 miles above our planet's surface. From there, the fragile paper structure will meet its demise as it disintegrates under the intense heat. But here's the twist. Our paper plane isn't built for that kind of high-speed, fiery farewell. Toda and Suzuki took on critics' feedback and gave their mini shuttles an extra layer of protection, a heat-resistant glass coating. They put one of these special planes to the test in a hypersonic wind tunnel, blasting it with air moving at Mach 7. That's even faster than our paper plane was expecting. The result? Within just 10 seconds, the plane heated up to around 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, but surprisingly stayed intact. This promising outcome gave our intrepid scientists the green light to keep pushing their project forward. Now, imagine you're a space fan on board the International Space Station, and you've got 9 tiny heat-resistant shuttles ready to take flight, each one about the size of your hand, measuring in at 38 centimeters or 15 inches long and 22 centimeters or 9 inches wide. And here's an extra cool detail, the bottom of each plane carries a special message from Toda and Suzuki. written in no less than 10 different languages, urging anyone who finds these space-borne paper planes to reach out to JAXA Space Agency. With fans worldwide waiting eagerly to catch these mini shuttles, this was set to be an epic adventure. But just as things were heating up, the project hit a snag and had to be put on hold. But don't worry, Toyota's and Suzuki's incredible idea didn't go down in flames. It continued to inspire, leaving us wondering what could have been. Fast forward to three passionate aviation fans from Britain, Steve Daniels, John Oates, and Lester Hines, who got hooked on Toyota and Suzuki's mission and wanted to take it further. Ditching the idea of relying on external resources, these British space enthusiasts decided to bankroll their own Project Paris with a bold plan to send their paper airplane soaring into space. Now, this wasn't just any plane. They designed a larger-than-average model, kitted out with a video camera for some eye-popping footage from up high. But here's the clever part: to get it there, they attached their glider to a weather probe packed inside a gigantic helium balloon, which would help them track its journey across the globe in real time. The stakes were high, but these Brits were ready to make history with their extraordinary Paris mission. But it wasn't meant to be for our British heroes, as their Paris mission hit a snag. The balloon carrying the precious cargo soared to an incredible 27 kilometers or roughly 16.7 miles high, but popped at that altitude, sending the glider on a wild free fall towards the ground. Although the team had hoped it'd reach orbit, the reality was much more down to earth. Paris touched down safely in the wilderness just outside Madrid, a mere 160 kilometers or about 100 miles from its launch point. Despite a few scratches to the wing, this brave bird landed almost intact, giving Steve, John, and Lester valuable data for their next attempt at reaching new heights. You won't believe the British trio's reaction when they saw Paris touch down. They were stoked. Unlike the other teams we've seen so far, Steve, John, and Lester didn't have a scientific agenda. They just loved building and flying. Meanwhile, Samsung was serious about turning it up a notch in their Project Spaceplanes campaign. They sent a weather probe plus 200 paper planes high into the atmosphere. But here's the twist: they ditched regular paper for thick cardboard to make these little flyers extra durable, all thanks to animator Joe Weech at the helm. Now that's what we call a high-tech stunt. Each cardboard plane was rigged with not just a stabilizer to tame the wind, but also a tiny memory card packed with a secret message asking for any leads on its whereabouts. Samsung's Project Spaceplanes campaign went all out, launching their weather probe along with 200 mini shuttles, and guess what? It soared up to 23 miles high over Germany in just 2 hours and 36 minutes. Although it didn't quite reach space, the cardboard planes got a chance to spread their wings, literally. And here's the amazing part: despite being scattered across the globe, there were reports of sightings pouring in from far-off lands like Canada, Australia, India, and even South Africa, all thanks to Joe Weech's dream project. So what was the real score for Samsung? They nailed advertising their memory cards, but flying planes to space, that remained a pipe dream. Meanwhile, the quest for the first paper airplane in space is still up in the air, quite literally. But it looks like we might have some inspiring precursors. Did you know that golf balls have been giving those fancy spacecraft a run for their money? In 2006, the Russians and Canadians teamed up to send a gold-plated golf ball on an epic journey. And guess who got to tee off? Flight engineer Mikhail Kurin. With just one swing, this little golf ball weighing only 0.1 ounces soared into outer space. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a paper airplane do the same sometime soon. Here are some key stats about that record-breaking golf ball. NASA reckons it traveled a staggering 1.6 million kilometers. That's almost 1 million miles around our Earth. After its incredible journey, it spent a few days just chillin' in space before entering the atmosphere at top speed. Unfortunately, the intense heat likely vaporized this tiny astronaut on re-entry, but what an epic adventure it had. And you thought Mr. Kuren was the only space golfer. Think again, there's actually a whole golf club up there that beats his record. Fast forward to the Apollo 14 mission in 1971, and get ready for some out-of-this-world fun. Astronaut Alan Shepard brought his A-game, or should we say, his golf game. He took a moon dust collector and turned it into an impromptu club, launching several golf balls onto our lunar neighbor. Who knows, maybe one day when space tourism takes off, you'll join a moon expedition and come face to face with these historical holes in one. But here's the real scoop. Your chances of spotting Shepard's golf balls might be trumped by stumbling upon something truly cosmic. The remnants of old rockets, abandoned equipment, or even pieces of astronaut suits. The moon is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. NASA's confirmed it. Our lunar explorers left behind a treasure trove of items on the moon. Imagine finding an olive branch symbolizing peace, a falcon feather for freedom, or James Irwin's portrait as a tribute to his spacefaring legacy. But what really caught my attention were the $102 bills and that spear. It seems these astronauts wanted to make their mark in more ways than one. Now it's your turn. If you had a chance to send something to the moon or launch it into space, what would it be? Would you choose something sentimental, like a family heirloom, or perhaps an item representing humanity's next great leap? Let's hear your ideas. Share them in the comments below, and let's get this cosmic conversation going. That was a blast. If you love this intergalactic journey, hit that thumbs up icon and let's keep the excitement going. Don't miss out on new space-tastic content. Subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications so you never miss a release. The best is yet to come in our future episodes, so stick around and explore more mind-blowing science with us. Spread the cosmic love.